Financial management for bankers. Okay, everyone, we were talking about the specific area of AFM. Acha. When we talk about the specific area of financial accounting for banking, now this is the specific chapter that we'll be dealing with today. Accounting and financial management for bankers. The examination will be held in the month of October, and it is gonna clash with PPB. Everyone, let's face it. When we talk about two specific exams clashing on one particular day, there's one particular problem that you're gonna face is that back-to-back examinations means lesser time to prepare for the exam. When you have lesser time to prepare for the exam, you should be absolutely clear what are you going to do for this particular examination to make sure that you don't face any problems, right? So first of all, prepare well for this examination, and for that what you need to do is that start your preparation right away. Our crash courses are out, and so that means if you're looking forward to this examination, go ahead and please check out the crash courses for this examination, so that when you prepare for this examination, you are thoroughly done with all the topics that you are supposed to do, right? So when we talk about this particular topic, is it important for the examination? Yeah, it is not only for this examination, but at the same time, if you are in the banking field, then you need to know what happens in an organization. What are the ways through which these organizations, which are in the field of banking, how do they prepare their books of accounts? You know, that's one particular important thing that we'll be learning today. Okay, everyone, what do you mean by bank? Bank is basically covered under Banking Regulation Act 1949. And when we talk about this specific act, what do the state? In this case, the Banking Regulation Act says bank means any organization which accepts deposits from people and provides loans to them. It does both the thing for the people there. So it plays a very important role in the economy, right? So when we talk about these organizations, they are subjected to some kind of audits. They are always under review. So how do they work? They prepare their books of accounts at in a certain manner, and they're also supposed to report to the RBI. The Banking Regulation Act specifies the format in which they are supposed to provide their books of accounts. Not only this, they also have to do one more thing, that is that they have to prepare in a certain format, and they are subjected to audits, and at the same time these particular reports have to be submitted quarterly. Okay, annual accounts, basically first of all they prepare their books of accounts for a financial year, which is basically starting from 1st of April to 31st of March, you know. So they have a specific format. They follow Form A, which is the balance sheet, and Form B, which is the P&L account. Government amendments. The government has definitely told them that after every 3 months you are supposed to submit your books of accounts. Normally this happens. Okay? They have to submit their books of accounts quarterly. Acha. Next is the signing of the balance sheet. Who signs the balance sheet? Everyone. The balance sheets are basically signed in a certain manner, that is done by the directors of those particular banks, and at least if there are more than 3 directors, then at least 3 of them should sign. Otherwise, if there are fewer directors, all must sign. See, if there are minimum 2 directors, then 2 directors should sign. If there are 3 or more, then minimum 3 should sign. So basically, directors are the people who are ultimately responsible for the particular books of accounts and maintenance of the accounts. So that is what they do. You know. Then banking companies in India, what they do? Banks are providing all the particular financial help to the people, financial assistance, and not only this. You have to make sure, if you're a public organization, then you are using the public money in a justified manner. That is why the banks are supposed to give these books of accounts and submit these books of accounts towards the towards the RBI, regulatory body of India. Then regulatory body in terms of the banking. Then we have foreign banking companies. Foreign banking companies can also work in our country. There is no point that we ask them not to work in our country. But of course, when we talk about this specific area, even their financial statements, which they are giving in India, they have to submit those books of accounts as well. If you don't submit your books of accounts, then your authenticity cannot be known. That's why it is very, very important. Acha, audit, everyone. How do we define audit? Audit is basically reviewing the books of accounts, whether they are true or not. They are providing a true picture or not. Then auditor qualifications, the auditor must be CA there, and the in terms of the secretariat is basically done in terms of companies. Banking company has a little different area of working. So in this case, in the government area, it is as per CAG. The Comptroller and Auditor General of India normally appoints the auditors when there are grave situations and they feel that the authenticity might be affected by the organization. So basically, when we talk about auditor qualifications, he should be someone who is from the accounting field, and normally they are CAs. RBI approval. Banking companies must obtain prior approval of RBI. Everyone, authenticity should be checked, because if any wrong person is made the auditor of the organization, this can be very much misleading. So that is why when we talk about this, RBI approval is definitely required. Compliance. Now then, the requirement ensures that the banking company maintain high standards of financial reporting. The high standards should be maintained and the transparency should definitely be there. Then comes special audit. When we talk about the special audits, how do we define the specific area altogether, everyone? When we talk about special audit, this is an audit which is required as and when there are any chances of any frauds. Okay. So what do they do in this case? RBI directive would be there. RBI will come up and tell all these organizations to work in this particular manner, where they will give the details of conducting a specific type of audit based upon the frauds or susceptibility of those frauds, right? Then comes the specific area of scope. Okay, how do we define the scope, everyone? If you have an organization, then what would you do? See, the organization, you cannot check everything. These books of accounts are not prepared in a day, they are prepared over a time span of an year. So I think it would be very stupid to judge the organization and say, okay, the entire books of accounts can be checked within no time. No, it will take a lot of time, rather months, to complete that particular thing, and even then you can miss out on something. So that's why normally sometimes when you find any kind of frauds, or you are thinking that there is some fraud that might occur, that they say that you should definitely have a specific, I can say, they define the boundaries. Just check this part, don't check the entire thing, just check only a few things. That is why which we define it as scope. Okay. The special audit may cover special transactions the classes of transactions. You can just say, okay, acha, just check these kind of transactions and see if there's any problem there. If the frauds are there, then definitely the other audits will also be taken up. Auditor's appointment, everyone, the special audit, RBI is definitely going to be there, which is going to decide how these people are going to work. And if RBI is going to decide things, CAG is also there to help them out. Then we have reporting. They report directly to the RBI as per their requirements. Okay, then what? How do they submit their annual books of accounts? Annual books of accounts are prepared and submitted by the auditor. Once they have completed it, then they will submit it. Then comes the next point, everyone, that is publication. They have to publish it. This should be something which should be, I would say, this should be visible to the public. Why should be visible to the public? So that they can prove ki, Arey, we didn't do any kind of fraud or something, right? So that's why they just make sure that if the organization is involved in anything in terms of the banking, it should be known to the public how they are working. Next part is deadline. They have deadlines in India? If we do not define the deadlines, then who's gonna work? So that's another important area. Okay, submission to the registrar of companies. Number one, simultaneous submission. Once you prepare the books of accounts, you have to submit all the copies there. The required documents have to be your balance sheet, your auditor's report, the books of accounts altogether. Then we have something called compliance. Compliance matlab, you have to make sure that banking company is doing the work in a transparent manner. Okay, then comes, this is the most important area. What is the format? This is the not only the theoretical part is there in this specific chapter, but also the practical part. Look at this specific area altogether, everyone. What is the preparation of the balance sheet? This is the part one. Number one, in terms of this area, we have capital and liabilities. Capital and liabilities. Capital means the funds which the owners have invested. Liabilities means the outsiders' money. In this specific area, what do they have? They specifically have the area of capital. Capital is covered under schedule number one. Then we have the reserves and surplus. Achha, capital and liabilities is one part. Huh? When we talk about this area, they have assets and they have liabilities. So in this case, what do they do? Assets and liabilities, both of these things are there. Then comes reserves and surplus. Reserves and surplus is basically the capital is the owner's funds, and when we talk about reserves and surplus, this is the fund that has been put into the business and it has not been taken out. These are the savings for the organization. Surplus is basically you earn a lot, but you don't pay the entire amount, right? To the shareholders. If you give the entire amount to them, how will they manage it? So that's one particular reality. Right? This is one particular thing that you do not get, you should be getting a good amount of money. Now, surplus is basically the amount that you have in this specific area. Acha, next point. Is minority interest. There are certain people who are the people who define this particular business, but the point is that these people are not the basic of the organization. Matlab, they are not the original people who have the main power. That is why they are called minorities. Their interest also has to be specified. Next part is deposits. Banks not only provide deposits to people, everyone, they also accept deposits from others. So when you receive deposits from others and you are taking care of their deposits, those are liabilities. If I deposit my 10 lakh rupees in a bank, then bank has to take care of my 10 lakh rupees. For the bank, it's a liability. And everyone, banks also need money for their expansions, for their day-to-day working, and not only short term, long term, both the areas altogether. So when the banks are taking any kind of loans, you know, it is called borrowings. So the borrowings are specified under the number 4. And everyone, when we talk about these borrowings, the most interesting part is the borrowings are both national and international level. If you have it with the banks or with other organizations, and if it is national or at the international level. Anything doesn't fit in any of the above will be stated in the number 5. Acha, how do we learn this part? This is CRMDBO. Okay, this is your liability side. CRMDBO, capital, reserves and surplus. Then this is minority interest. These are actually together. Okay, then you have the area of deposits, borrowings and other liabilities. So you remember the sequence by heart if you do it this way. A smart move to look forward to. This is called mnemonics. Everyone, preparation of the balance sheet. How do we prepare the balance sheet? Part 2. In this area, what is the difference between part 1 and part 2? Simple. Part 1 was something which had the specific area of exclusively the liabilities, that is the funds that we are arranging for the business. But if I arrange funds for the business, one particular thing that I have to do is I have to spend it somewhere in the business. Now I'll put that money into somewhere. So one particular area and one of the major areas are we give this money to the RBI. Cash and balances with the RBI would be there in this specific area, that is schedule number 6, the money that we give to the RBI. Acha, why do we keep a little money with RBI? See, RBI makes sure that we are getting enough in terms of our working. RBI has played a very important role in maintaining the economy. So how do they maintain the economy? They are maintaining the economy um, by keeping all these banks in their hand, है ना? Acha, next point is balances with banks and money at call and short notice. Acha, what are these, everyone? Money at call and short notice is basically when you give funds to some other organization. I can definitely flaunt it that way. Ki pata hai, I've given loan to some other XYZ organization. If I've given loan to some other XYZ organization, then what happens is, if I give loans to these XYZ organizations, then I have the right to receive the money. है ना? So if I have that right to receive the money, what do we do in this case? If I have the right to receive money, so I should note it down. Money at call and short notice are basically money at call is basically within the next 2 to 3 days you can recover the money. Then we have this money at short notice, and then we have term money. Normally within the next 12 months now you will have to recover the entire funds. Within the next basically now within a week only, within a week, within a month, they decide a specific time tenure. They have specific time tenures for sure. Number one is for call money, which is to be paid within it is basically overnight, so you can say this particular day and the next day, that's all you have. Then comes the next part, overnight funding. Then the second part would be money at call, and then we have short notice. This is basically maximum 14 days. Then we have term money within the specific area, where if the person is supposed to pay within a month, that is 28 days normally. So that means the funds which we'll be receiving within a specific time period of exclusively short term, and then we have the long term funds as well. The short long term is basically cool in terms of one thing, that from the on the long term basis you can have more interest, and you can receive interest over a span of time, though short term interests are higher, but it is just for one time, and for a very limited period of time. Then we have investments. What do you do with money? You invest it in one or the other place. That is what they do. Then we have advances. If you give advances to the other organization, it is to be covered in the specific area. Then advances is basically the money that you give to any other organization. It can be a bank or any other organization. So the money that you are giving, but you just have to make sure that the specific money that you are giving is specified. Okay. Then we have the specific area of fixed assets. Fixed assets means the assets that we are using in the business for a long term, not short term, but we are using it for the long term basis. In this case, when we talk about fixed assets, the assets which we are using in the business, and the usage of these things are defined in terms of what we are using these assets in the business. For example, land, building, AC, equipment, whatever is there in the organization is covered in this specific area. Okay, the assets that exist in the business. Okay, now comes the next part, that is called other assets, the assets which are there in the organization, which do not fit anywhere above. Acha, everyone, do we need to follow the particular schedule? Yes, we have to. The schedule number is the area which is covered in the examination a lot. So please make sure when you prepare for this particular examination, from this chapter you remember the schedule number by heart, because they have given questions based upon this specific area altogether. So if we are clear about the specific question format, then at least we won't face a problem in the examination. Okay, so this is what we'll be talking about today, the final accounts of a banking company. So everyone, let's end this specific session here itself. In the next session, we are going to talk about the other areas altogether. But before I end this session, let's discuss a few important things. Is where to go. Chaliye, let's take you to the place which we have to look forward to. Everyone preparing for this examination, go to the area of Adda247, www.adda247 thing. I think the best thing is to download our app. You get more benefits there. Look at this, JAIIB October 2024, unlimited batches are there, everyone. Oh, just a moment, here it is. JAIIB October 2024 Mahapack double validity is going on, everyone. That means the people who are preparing for this or the next attempt, then you should definitely look forward to Mahapack. Mahapack includes our complete batches, our crash course, numerical batch, any batch that we are coming up. Everything is covered here. From pin to an elephant, whatever we are bringing on the specific platform of JAIIB exclusively, you get everything here. That is why it is way better to look forward towards the JAIIB Mahapack. Use the code Y541 and get a discount of up to 81%. So that's one particular benefit that you exclusively get by using the specific code. So go ahead and buy it for 5699, everyone. 12-month validity. Win-win situation. 12-month validity, matlab you have paid not even 6,000, not even 500 per month, everyone. And you're getting the entire JAIIB, everything, every batch, every bilingual English medium test series, e-books, then previous marathons, every single information that you might need for this examination is all there in our Mahapack. So go ahead and check it out on our website or in our app for further details. Keep on looking at our courses, everyone, and stay tuned. We'll be talking about more of these things. Acha, tomorrow I have a particular session with you that is a marathon. So please be there in the mini marathon for Module A AFM. Bye bye, take care, and happy weekend.